How are we doing, everybody? It's Papa Natty here, back with another video. And today we're going to be diving into the best and essential healer add-ons for World of Warcraft Classic. Now, as you may or may not know, I started a new character named the Bishop on the WoW Classic Night Slayer Anniversary realm, and I've never played a priest before, and so my goal is to get this priest all the way to 60. And I'm also learning how to heal properly. And along with that comes things like these add-ons that frankly are not very straightforward. They are wildly powerful and super useful once you know how to use them, but again, took me a while to figure out. So that's what we're going to dive in and talk about today. These are the best add-ons to get you set up so you are ready to go straight into dungeons and start on your healer. So let's hop right in. So we're going to start by going over all of my add-ons in my UI very briefly, just to touch on what you're seeing and why I have certain things installed, because I enjoy my add-ons. Again, you don't need any add-ons in reality to play the game, but I like being able to customize my gaming experience. All right, so when we're going to my add-ons, look, I'm a big fan of add-ons. There's a lot here. I apologize. The ones that are important, I would say Baganon is essential. So when I press B, it kind of shows all of my slots in one. Atlas and Atlas Loot Classic are super helpful. So this is Atlas Loot, and it essentially just will show you, like, if I go to RFC, and then I can click on both of the the bosses there, see what they drop, see the drop rates. It's just kind of cool to have, to know what you're expecting from each drop. Atlas is similar in that it just kind of shows you the layout and where the different bosses are. I would say Auctionator is a need. Bartender, that's how I organize all of my bars. Click. This is one of the add-ons we're going to be covering, as it is a healing add-on. Super beneficial. We'll talk about that later. Details, again, not essential. Very egotistical, and I enjoy looking at the numbers and seeing myself pumping. But as a healer, not as important. Even healing done is essentially irrelevant in a party because you're the only one healing. The only part of this that's like actually useful to a healer is the tiny threat. Like if you have a bunch of adds and the one big boss. So if you have the big boss targeted while you're healing, you can see who it's going to target next, or if one of your mages is about to pull aggro, or something like that. Gather Mate is useful when you're doing stuff like mining or herbalism. Grid 2 is what we're going to spend a bunch of time in this video on, because that is our raid frames, or party frames. GSE, I'll make a separate video on GSE, but not relevant here. GTFO, I think it's an essential add-on you need. Essentially, every time you're stepping in lava or you're about to die, it just makes a loud noise and alerts you to that, which I think is helpful. Leatrix maps, huge. It's just my map. A mini map button, big. It's this little thing right here. So usually you have circles all around here. This is so you press this and read through all your different add-ons right here. It's super helpful. Mythic Dungeon Tools is a necessity on any character you play. Plater is a necessity. Questy is a necessity. Rare Scanner just shows you if there are rares in the area and what they have the chance to drop. Rested XP is for if you're power leveling. Taco Tip is super useful. You'll hover it and you see on the bottom right, it shows you your gear score, your talent, stuff like that, which I think is useful. Just been comparing myself to other people. It's not essential by any means, but... And then the other two big ones are Weak Auras, which I use on every character. I know a lot of people don't use it. I love it. And then Z-Pearl for my unit frames. So that's the list of all of it. As you can see, these are the Z-Pearl frames right here. I just like how it animates this. I like where it shows you all this. It looks good. I like the gradient that it has from the colors and stuff. The Weak Auras. I use Weak Auras on every single character I use. I'm still relatively new to this game and really new to a lot of these classes. Weak Auras helps me to see my mana big in front of me, to see stuff like the Spirit Timer when I get health back, to see what abilities I have available and what abilities are on X amount of cooldown, because it counts it out for you, which I really enjoy. Outside of that, that's pretty much it outside of Grid 2 and Click, which we're about to jump right into. So the first add-on we're going to talk about for healing is Click. Now, Click is a way to create macros, hover over macros specifically, instantly and seamlessly, and without having to do any work on your end, essentially. It makes hover overs just significantly easier to make. You can do it yourself manually, but this, I don't know why you would if you have this. So what you're going to do is go to your spell book, make sure show all spell ranks is clicked. Okay, you're going to need that. Then this little button right here is your click button. Go to here. Here are your current bindings. Here is your catalog of total spells. It even shows you like your macros and stuff like that for hover overs, okay? For example, there are two ways to add new binds. There's the add binding button and the quick bind mode button. So under add binding, this is the full 9, okay? So these options, you read through them, and it's useful to turn some of them on, because I used to use a couple of these, but I think it's fine to just make it without any of these clicked, unless that's something you're interested in for specific reasons, okay? So what we're going to do is click. Let's say we're going to do Power Word Shield, rank 2, okay? That's the spell we're going to be using. So it pops up here, and then all you got to do is click Change Binding, and then click the binding you want it to be on. So you're going to click to change to R, and then Save Binding, and now it's saved right here, okay? The other way to do this in the quicker way is to do Quick Bind mode. So you click Quick Bind mode, and then you're just going to hover over one of these, my Power Word Shield rank 2, and then press R. And then now it's made for you right there. That easy. So if I'm doing Renew, I'll do Quick Bind mode. I'll go to Renew. I'll say I want that at 5. I want Smite rank 1 to be, you know, whatever, U. Smite rank 2 to be I. Whatever that is, right? And now, as you can see, I have all of these added. So it's that simple. It's super easy to use. And I guess to show you like how it actually works, so I'll just hover over myself and press R. Gives me my Power Word Shield. If I want to heal myself, press 1 on myself, and it gives me, you know, my heal, or, you know, 5 for regrowth. As long as you're hovered over and you press those buttons, it'll do it to whoever you're targeting on your party frames. I think I've done nearly like 15 takes of this, just this one add-on, because it's massive and powerful and comprehensive and customizable, yet not at all straightforward, and that is Grid 2. It is so great, but it is not easy to use. And so my goal here is to show you what I have and then go straight into a brand new slate, cover the details that are most important, and try to keep it as brief as possible, okay? This is my Grid 2 icon. If you go to /Grid2, you bring up the main menu. So I have like a couple buffs here. I have the mana bar here. I have some debuffs that'll be here. I have the, you know, their health number right here, so I can see how much each heal will do, that kind of thing. I've done some other adjustments to, like if I give myself a shield, I have the shield icon here and then the debuff icon here. Stuff like that does not come naturally with Grid 2. It's something you have to create, and if you don't know how to do it, it's a pain in the ass to figure out. So we're going to go start from scratch and make something super basic to get you guys up and running, okay? So as soon as you make a new or open grid, it's gonna look like this, okay? First thing to do if you wanna see it, how it looks in a party, because that's what we're gonna be talking about is parties today, go to Layouts by group type and click this little magnifying glass next to the party, and it will show you what your layout will look like in an entire party. The General tab is not very useful. We're gonna skip that. Appearance, again, these 3 tabs, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on because it's very much up to you. Again, you can just move it like this. The positioning is kind of irrelevant. Anchor is not as relevant either. Orientation, I use vertical. That's one of the big differences I use. Okay, I like my frames vertical instead of horizontal. But that, again, it's up to you. Width and height, I use max width. And, you know, a decent add to the height because I like my boxes bigger. Okay? But again, all the way up to you. You don't need to worry about any of this down here. Layout, look, and feel. The only thing that's really interesting is the show frame. Sometimes it's best to just, if you want your frame to always be there, use always. If you want it to never be there, use never, although you're probably not watching this video if you want it never there. The other option is if you're grouped, which means this will only show up when you're in a party or a group, which it could be very useful if that's what you're interested in. Spacing is how big you want your background to be. Most people keep it relatively small. Padding is the in-betweens between each of the frames. Scale, again, pretty self-explanatory. We're going to make it bigger just so we can see it pretty well in this video. Frames, look and feel, again, you mess around with that. I'm not going to spend too much time on background colors and all that. Important things to note before we dive into really customizing. There are a couple things you can change through indicators and statuses that are off the bat. Now, indicators and statuses are where all of the magic happens in this add-on. Statuses are stuff like, I have a debuff on me. I have a heal on me. I have a buff on me. I am low health. I am high health. I'm, you know, whatever. Indicators take that information and based on your, you know, how you set it up, shows that to you on your frames. Okay, so statuses are, this is what's happened. This is what's happening. Indicator says, okay, this is how we're going to show it. The first thing, and it took me so long to figure out how do I change this gray background. So this is not the actual frame itself. Okay, this is the health bar of the person you're looking at. So this is my health bar, okay? If you want to change it, go to indicators, go to health, go to layout, and you can choose, okay? You can change the colors, you can change all that. So that's if you want to change these actual, the actual health bars, I guess, or frame icons. Heals is kind of worth looking into. It just shows when you have a heal inbound, it'll show it on their health bar. Background border, all of this can be adjusted as well. I would not go and adjust a lot of this stuff for no reason, but you can, okay? Next, we're going to start on statuses. Now, there's already a lot of statuses added that come naturally with the game, okay? A lot of these, like heals incoming, doesn't matter. Health current, like don't touch any of these, please. Do not mess around with these statuses, please. Please don't mess around with the statuses. So let's say if you want to add a mana bar, okay? So we already have if you go to statuses and go to mana and power, you have mana. So this is just, I believe this will just show where your mana is at any given moment, okay? So what we're going to do is go into our indicators because that's the status, right? But we want something to read that status and then do something. So we go to an indicator. There is no indicators that actually have it, so we're going to create a new indicator. We're going to call it mana bar. We're going to make it a bar. We're going to put it at the bottom. Again, I don't know why you would ever use anything different than this, but you could. And bottom is the easiest, so that's what we're going to go with. So then after you do that, just press create. And that will create this new indicator called mana bar. So status, make sure mana is on it. Okay, that's what you need. Go to colors, go to mana and power again, make sure mana is there, and it'll come up as blue. And again, we can change these, okay? We can go in and change the bar colors, especially for the mana. So, if you go to layout, you can go to orientation of the bar, frame texture. I can make it more, darker or, slash or whatever you want. And I'm not going to spend too much time because, again, there's no point. You could spend hours and hours messing around with this. So that's how you add a basic mana bar with a status that's already in the game, which is the mana status. Now, let's say you want to do something like, I want to know when I have power word fortitude on all of my party members because I need to have it on every single member constantly, and I want to know when it's running out, and I want to know when it's gone, okay? The best way to do that is the same thing. All right, let's put those in, sorry. Let me just say, a lot of these, like side bottom, corner right, corner bottom left, don't touch them. We're going to ignore them for now. Because it's like, there are some default options that come with it that I just think are useless. Like when I use power word fortitude, it shows a blue square in the top left, which is like, you'd have to know what that means. Why would you not just use the icon, right? So we're going to start from scratch on these. So the first thing we want to do is power word fortitude, an icon. We want to make it in like the top left. I think that's a good idea for each person that it's on, okay? Now, if you go to statuses, like we did last time, and we go to buffs. As you can see, we do not have power word fortitude listed as a status already. So we're going to click on buffs. We're going to make a new one. Now, very important here, your name needs to be 100% accurate, okay? It needs to be perfect for the spell name. So if you need to, just hover over the spell like I'm doing. And I want to show if mine, okay? And just press OK, and it creates, and then create. And now we have a power fortitude buff, and you can see it has the icon already. That means we're in business. So now it's a status made, so it knows when there's a power word buff made, when happened in the game. Now we just need the indicator to show us that, okay? So we're gonna go back into our indicators. We're gonna create a new indicator. We're gonna call it power word fortitude, PWF. Say OK, type. Now, it'll default you usually to a square. We don't want a square. We're going to use an icon, okay? Because the icon will actually show us the icon of the power word fortitude, which is so much better. Location, we want ours top left. You can adjust this however you like. I like top left for my power word fortitude. So create that. And now here's where you actually make it. The statuses we need. We just made this. The buff, power word fortitude, mine. Now, if you really wanted to, you could go back into statuses, do the exact same thing we did for power word fortitude, and then select, instead of mine, select not mine. That way, if there's a more powerful one on, it'll still show you that, okay? So we're going to add that on so it shows Load, it doesn't matter. Layout is we can adjust exactly how we want it. The size and everything, I like it like that. So as you can see, I have it that buff on me, and when I put it on again, it resets. Now, here's another problem that I hate. When it resets, it goes to dark and then counts back up to light, and I don't like that. I want it the other way around. So go back into our indicators. Let's go to our power word forward one that we've already made, and then down, down, down towards the bottom, it'll say cooldown. Click reverse cooldown, and that way it's lit up and it'll slowly get darker as it's going away, which I like better. So that's something I learned as well. So that's how you add a basic icon like that. That's how you add the mana bar. Let's say you want to add something like text of like I have like how much health they have. So if you go into your health and heals, like health current is already an option, a status option. So we're just gonna go into our indicators. So you could use one of these pre-existing ones. I'm just gonna make my own because that seems to be the easiest way to go about this. We're gonna call it health number. We're gonna make it a text, health number, okay. Text, location, center, okay. Create. Now, as you know, we're now on our statuses. Health and heals will be under the health and heals status, right? And you want health current, okay? I apologize. You also need to have health deficit clicked for that, okay? And that will solve that issue to get something like your health number there. Again, let me just pull this up so I can see it all. So you see the health number there. So essentially have it similar to where we had it. So the last thing that we can do that I would recommend doing if you were a priest is your power word shield icon, as well as the debuff, because they're on different CDs, okay? So again, indicators, we already have the stat. If you remember, there's already a status made for power word shield, okay? It's already there. So all we gotta do is go into indicators, create a new indicator, PWS, power word shield, okay? We're gonna make it an icon because I like the icon better than like a colored square. I want it top right this time. So I want to show it here if I have power word icon on, okay? Create that under buffs, power word shield, click that under load and layout, no problem. So now if I give myself power word shield, it pops up right there. I want this to show me nothing. So it comes with automatic, that blue square. Do you see that? It comes automatic with that when power word shield is activated. I just turns that off because I like the icon better. And similar, I don't like the way it looks like that, so we're gonna reverse the cooldown. Where is that power word shield? We're gonna reverse the cooldown because I don't like when it's that way. But another big one is that debuff, because that debuff is really important for a priest to know when I can use it again on that person. So we're gonna check our statuses first to see if that debuff is already added. Debuff, weakened soul, it's already there for us, perfect. So we're gonna go into indicators. If for some reason it's not added, remember, just go back to what we did for power word fortitude and just follow those steps. Make sure you use the name perfectly. Create a new indicator. We're going to say PWS debuff. We're going to make an icon, and I want it right. So it'll be right underneath my power word shield icon, okay? And we're going to create that. We're going to go debuffs, and we're going to do weakened soul, layouts, reverse cooldown, close. So now, when I throw this on myself, you'll see both the power word shield and the weakened debuff ticking down, as well as my mana decreases. You can see my power word fortitude there. This is the way to go. The only thing I think I've added was like diseases and stuff on the bottom left, but again, that is all up to you. So that is my breakdown, or at least my attempt of a breakdown on Grid 2. All 15 minutes long worth. So those are the main add-ons that I found important, or at least very helpful when learning how to heal, especially as a priest. If there is stuff that I missed or options that I missed within these add-ons or add-ons that you think are better, please let me know, because again, I am no expert at this. I'm figuring it out on my own as I go, and I'm hoping I can dispel some of that trial and error and save you guys time. So if you like this kind of video, make sure to like and subscribe. Next, we're going straight into a dungeon. I'm going to show you exactly how we should be healing, especially this lower level dungeons. All right, well, have a great rest of your day.